Mm. Are you drinking Starbucks?
Usually not.
Oh, really?
It was just like the fastest coffee I could grab before I could. There were so many people in the convenience store. I just grabbed the closest one.
Oh, you got that at a convenience store.
Uh,
Wow, that's wild. Oh man, yeah. So for me, I just make my own coffee.
okay,
Mm.
yeah, I gave up on this since I moved to Japan.
Making your own coffee?
I did
Oh
this
man.
before, but not anymore.
Well, I don't grow the beans or
No,
anything.
no, 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 but like I mean, having everything at home, what you need to grind and that shit, right?
Oh, I used to do that. I used to buy the beans. I used to grind it, and I
Yeah,
would
yeah,
grind
yeah,
it
yeah,
again, then regrind it. I'm like, is it pure enough?
yeah,
And then,
yeah.
but now I just go to the store. I get grounded, I guess coffee beans, and I just put it in the machine, and then I just push the button, and I make my own coffee, and that's it. I don't make my own coffee, but yeah, it's great. I mean, I save a lot of money and stuff. I mean, I still go to cafes, but I don't know. But I don't know. Mm. But the thing is, when you make your own coffee, you can make it as strong as you want. And I love strong coffee,
Hmm,
especially in the
hmm.
morning. When I wake up in the morning, there's like a million things I got to do. I got to check my emails. I got to check like all the SNS baloney. And then, I got to start like just hitting my day. Right. And so if I don't have that jolt of caffeine, I'm just like, oh, I'm at 50%.
At Lawson, you can select now light, medium, and strong.
Yeah, but their strong is like a really,
You
really
tried
weak
that, yeah?
compared to me. Compared to what I make, man. I make my coffee like molten lava. If you want, I can give you some.
Oh, maybe later. Maybe
Maybe
later.
later.
Oh, sure, sure,
Okay,
sure.
cool, cool, cool. All right, coffee time.
So we're rolling now, or what is this? Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're
Okay, okay,
live. We're
cool, cool,
live.
cool.
So yeah. So I'm trying not to say any bad words because of
You cannot
YouTube.
cut it. You cannot cut it. Oh, do you know the C word is the most unpopular word for the YouTube algorithm? So you,
Candy?
yeah, if you say candy,
If you say the bad C
the
word, the
bad,
four letter C
the
word.
four-letter C word is way more worse than the F word, actually. Like by how can I say how much whether the amount of videos got banned or like monetized or blah, blah, blah.
Now, is that why there's not that many really, really big UK YouTubers? Because in the UK,
Maybe,
they
who
say the
knows?
C word all the time. I
Yeah.
was surprised when I went to England and Ireland. I couldn't believe I mean, I heard it like all the time, and I was like, whoa, I feel kind of uncomfortable, man.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, in the United States, it's just like the C word, the four-letter C word is like so bad, right?
Okay,
Like
okay.
if you say it, people are like, oh, if you
Yeah.
say the F word, people are like,
Yeah,
whatever. Art
that's the
Simmons
thing.
is. Yeah.
It's the same like the F word in America, the C
Mm.
word in England or in Britain.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I was in Ireland and people are saying it. I can understand it too. A lot
Hmm,
of the words I couldn't understand.
hmm, hmm.
Yeah. Then again, I was in the deep countryside. All right, you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, let's do this. Okay, here we go. All right, are we recording? This meeting's being live streamed, blah, 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 blah. I think we are. Okay. If we're not, we could just do it again. All right, here we go. One, two, a one, two, three, four. What's up, faders? Welcome to yet another action-packed episode of Got Faded Japan, and I am your host, Johnny. And as you fine folks know, Got Faded Japan is about two dudes, booze, Japan, and the news. And faders, this is episode number 750, and it's an early morning podcast. It's a very early morning podcast, so we're not getting faded on booze. We are keeping it cool with coffee, I guess you could say. And faders, we're here with a very good friend of mine and an amazing artist. We are blessed today to have the one and only photo genius Max on the show. Max, coffee kampai.
Comply to that. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being on the show, man. I really appreciate it, dude. It's great to see you again too.
Thank you, thank you.
I haven't seen you since you were DJing at Tom's 360 party in Shibuya.
Oh yeah, that was quite a blast. Yeah, it was good.
Actually,
You enjoyed it, but you left quite early, right?
dude, I had so many things I had to do. I had to go to a Sopranos tribute party. I had so much work I had to do the next day. My life is hectic. It's always
Okay, okay.
crazy. But I showed up, I was there, and I checked out most of your sets. And the
Okay.
cool thing about your set, Upfaders, so 3 weeks ago, there's a 1990s style hip hop party. No, no, no. It was what was it?
No, it was actually 90s party.
Was
Like
it
I played
90s?
like 30 minutes hip hop because that was just like the thing in the 90s, right?
I loved it. That's why I thought it was a hip hop party because I came for your set and you're
Yeah.
playing hip hop and you're playing like all the hip hop that I grew up on.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, I know this song. I know this song. Your
That's how
Tribe
90s
Called
should work.
Quest, Oh man, Wu Tang.
Yep,
Mm.
yep, yep.
You played Ice Cube. You played one of his tracks off the Predator. Man, that's crazy. I didn't know anybody knew about Ice Cube other than him being in like NWA
Yeah, but
or in family movies now.
I haven't seen any, so
Yeah. Well, he earned his name from Boys in the Hood.
mm.
Doughboy. That guy got big. He's got the dad bod. Oh man. But yeah, that was absolutely fantastic. I had a blast,
Thank you, thank
man.
you, thank you. Yeah.
And you're not only a DJ, you're actually one of my favorite photographers here in Japan. And faders, I'm going to be honest, okay? When it comes to Japan, everybody's a photographer because everybody has an iPhone, right? And that doesn't mean that they're a photographer. That just means that they're a photographer. They're taking photos and stuff. And some people can take some great photos with the iPhone. The iPhone is a great machine, but it takes a very special kind of person with a very unique set of skills and abilities to not just take a photograph, but take a work of art. And as you know, I've been organizing art exhibitions for a long time here in Tokyo. I've been to many, many, many galleries, fine art galleries, photography galleries. There's actually there's a Photoscape right down the street, a huge photography gallery that's absolutely super famous or whatever. And I go in there maybe every month or so just to see what's up and stuff. And I'm going to be honest, man. A lot of photographers here are not so up to par. Let's say that they're good, but they're not up to par. But when I see your photographs, man, when I see your photographs, like in person or like on Instagram, I'm blown away, Max. I'm absolutely blown away.
Man.
Like, and when I look at your photos or when I look at any photo, I ask myself first, could I take this photo? And if the answer is yes, I'm like, oh, okay, it's an okay photo. But with yours, no, I can't take the photographs that you're taking. Second, concept. Third, lighting. Four, style. Five, colors. I go through this process when I look at photographs. And the photographs that you take, man, just blow me away. Left, right, and center, man. Your photographs are absolutely spectacular.
Thank you so much, man.
So I'm thrilled that you're on the show right now, and I'm so happy to introduce your artwork to the world on Got Faded Japan. So Max, let's just start at the beginning. Tell me about your photography journey.
Before we start with this, I have a question. As you introduced
Uh-oh.
it with iPhone photos, have you had people exhibiting photographs at your exhibitions, right?
Yeah.
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 So were there any people using actual iPhones to take those pictures that
No.
you show, right?
No.
Okay, so this
No.
was just like a phrase, the iPhone example.
Well, it's just like I take photos that I think are decent, and I use my iPhone. I've got tons of friends that have like okay, like I guess Instagram like I guess pages.
Mhm.
And this is all iPhone photos, and they're okay. But for you, you don't use the iPhone, do you? You
No,
don't.
I mean,
Okay.
I would not say I use I would not say a phone photo like taken with the phone.
Like this.
Usually is meant to be an artwork or an work itself, like a
Yeah.
commercial work.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why yeah, I was asking. I was like confused a little bit.
Oh, no. I'm talking about fine art. I'm talking about
Yeah.
like fine art photography. I'm not talking about commercial photography for like, like Starbucks products.
Oh, we can do that here? Yeah, it's private. That's true.
Yeah, oh, no, we're sponsored by Marlboro cigarettes. Smoke up, kids. God, I wish I smoked still.
Yeah, really, I quit also already a year ago or something.
Oh, just a year ago? I quit years ago. But the one thing that I miss about like smoking is the smoke break. That's the one thing you can do when you're a smoker. When you're a smoker, you're like, all right, guys, I'm gonna go take a smoke break. I'll be back in 10 minutes. Where you could just like leave whatever you're doing and just go inside, just be like, I wonder what I'm gonna eat for lunch today.
But the company Rakuten here in Japan, they deduct I think 2 until 4, maybe 4 days of your annual leave when you're a smoker.
Get out of here.
Yeah, they fuck you hard. They say you can leave for smoke break anytime, but you have 4 annual leave less.
You know what? That makes a lot of sense because I smoke cigars.
It's like a week. That's like an Rakuten would hate you.
No, you don't get vacation, Johnny. No. I smoke cigars and I go to a cigar shop, right? It's called Kageya in Shinjuku. It's like the best cigar shop in like the country. And I go there and I buy my stogies there. And not recently, but within like the last year and a half, they have a huge snus section. Swedish snus, which
Yeah,
is like kind of like a mouth tobacco that's
mhm,
similar to chewing tobacco, but kind of different, right?
mhm.
You don't spit. And the thing is, like, that is becoming super, super popular because there's a lot of people who smoke and maybe they can't go out for smoke breaks anymore. Maybe
Mhm,
that's
mhm.
it. So yeah, snus is it's kind of getting kind of big here in Japan.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's interesting. So that makes sense. You know, I mean, if I was a smoker and if they're deducting time off like my vacation days because I'm a smoker, man, I'd be snoozing.
Yeah, maybe. Or you just lie to them.
I'm like, I got to use the bathroom for 10 minutes.
Yeah, that can happen.
Smoking in the boys' room.
I'm eating chili con carne every day, you know. It's like that's the trick.
There's a Taco Bell right around the corner.
Oh,
You know, I mean, in that case, you're taking like what, 20 minutes for a break? You're like, guys, I just had Taco
every 20
Bell.
minutes, 20 minutes.
I gotta drop the family off at the pool. Oh my goodness. So okay,
Yeah,
yes. Let's go back.
yeah.
Okay, so the photographer's journey.
Uh,
How did it start?
it started actually in a very small town in the countryside of Germany.
Nice.
After I how can I say, like I let's start from no, I need to start a little earlier. Actually, I wanted to be like a nurse. I wanted to become a nurse.
Hmm.
For that, I started studying psychology.
Hmm.
And as it turned out, it's all very dry, like very, how can I say, not what I expected.
Mm.
And I worked for the Red Cross and saw stuff
Really?
happening to people, which was really not nice, like accidents or very sick people I needed to bring to the. I was driving the ambulance car, but sometimes I was also in the back and shit like this. And then I switched to an hospital and worked in
Wow.
the hospital for like a half year. And then another half year, I worked in an elderly home and in the what's it called, in a psychologist part of the elderly home where it's like close to people cannot leave, right? They're like mental ill. And yeah, a lot of thing happened, and I realized this is I really like to work with people, but I don't want to see them die. I don't want to see them suffer because
Mm.
it's like
Yeah.
after you work, you go home and you lie in your bed and you still think about it. It's not good. So that's why I changed. I
Mm.
stopped studying psychology. I stopped working for the hospital, for the Red Cross, and so on and so on. And I switched to photography. So that's why I found this very tiny town photographer. He had like a studio there and it started very, to be honest, very shitty. Wedding photography, the worst thing you can do. Um, despite being married, it's like another problem. But that's just my opinion. Yeah, everybody can do what they want, but to take pictures. No. Being married is nice, right? And there are weddings which are fun to take pictures of,
Yeah.
but the average no.
Yeah.
So, and this was like a terrible experience, not because of the photography itself or because of the people. Again, I like people, so that's why I started doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But the boss, he was like a dick. He was like an asshole.
Mm.
And yeah, he for example, he was not fastening his seatbelt, right? So while he was driving, his car always made this alarm sound, and he just wants to be free. He just wants not to feel the seatbelt shit. But this alarm sound continued 30 minutes. So sometimes the locations were more far than 30 minutes. So we were driving, and for 30 minutes there was like a beam, beam, beam alarm sound
It's like
constantly.
techno.
It's very bad 80s techno, the very, very early shit. No, it was bad, and like that was his character. And but after 3 months, I left and
Mhm.
started in a commercial company because I found like a really nice dude. I met a nice dude in a school of photography in Munich. Like the classroom filled at the very first day, and there was like one guy. He was like sleeping like this.
Mhm.
And it was like, okay, it's okay until the teacher arrives. He will wake up, I guess. And then once the teacher arrived, he still continued to sleep. And then the teacher was like, okay, welcome everybody. This is your first day. Wow, this guy makes a bad impression for the very first moment. So let's wake him up together, class. Can you say something to him? Anybody knows his name? Nobody knew his name, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So he got, hey, you. And he touched him. Come on, wake up, wake up. And then he woke up and he was bleeding. His face was full of blood. He was like, what the hell? Are you okay? And yeah, it's fine. Just a scratch somewhere. No, your fucking face is bleeding. Oh, it's already dry, right? Yeah, it is, but wash your face. Come on. So yeah, this guy was hilarious.
Is that a good impression or a bad impression?
It's a bad impression, but it's like an impression, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he
You'll
was
never
like,
forget that guy.
yeah, his name is Tony. Greetings to, I think he's living in Burma now. So he's
Bloody Tony.
Bloody Tony. And he was actually working for a company, for a big commercial company,
Great. Yeah.
and one of the fourth biggest in Germany. And I was lucky because I was immediately hanging out for lunch break with him
Mhm.
because like it was just funny, right? Like I need to meet him. Like, hey, you're a freak. You know, like- and yeah, he brought me into this company, and then I left this small countryside company with this asshole wedding photographer.
Yeah.
And then I started the journey with real commercial photography, like all fields, like everything.
Gotcha. Wow, that's one heck of a journey. And when you started off doing photography, was it film photography? Were you doing like a medium format, large format, 4x4, 35 millimeter?
As a kid,
Yeah.
my father had a 35 millimeter camera, and that's
Uh-huh.
where I got attached to photography. Though
Yeah.
it became like a small hobby, maybe, but not really
Hmm.
because I was a kid. But I just got interested into it.
Yeah.
But in my generation, I went to the photography university in 2007. The
Okay.
film part was already dead.
Mhm.
And to earn serious money with photography, you cannot do film.
It's so expensive.
This
Even
is
back
like-
in the day, it was expensive. I took
Yeah.
a lot of photography classes in college, and it was all 35 millimeter black and white, which I thought, to be honest, I loved it. I loved it. I loved going into like the dark room and stuff.
Yeah.
It was all red, and
It is.
you know, you make
It's cool. It's
you
cool. It's-
develop the film, and yeah.
yeah, it's like a ritual, right? So it's really cool,
Mhm.
but also the speed, it's very slow.
Oh yeah.
So, in modern photography, like I mean, in commercial photography,
Mhm.
it's like not possible to take the time
Wow.
for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Back in the day, it was kind of fun and stuff. Only problem is like those chemicals stink. And like because you're sticking your hands in these chemicals and stuff with the
Mhm.
paper, and you're developing the actual paper, not just the film and stuff, you know. And you would have that smell in your hands, especially if
Mhm.
you're a student, you know.
Mhm.
It gets in your clothes or whatever. Yeah, you became the stinky guy. Actually, you smell like you're making meth or something. You smell like chemicals and stuff. People are like, yo, dude, what's your job? I'm like, I'm a photographer. Like, I don't think so. Oh my God. Photographer. Oh my God. Yeah. Those chemicals were nasty. Your fingernails would get dark, you know?
Mhm.
So you look like a goth kid. All right. Yeah, you totally look like a goth
Good
kid because
neighbors.
all day you're inside a dark room. You come out, your clothes are all black and they're spotted because of the chemicals bleached like your clothes.
Yeah.
Your fingernails are all dark. You're like, I listen to The Cure. Yeah, you're very
Except for
goth.
the last part, I would totally agree with that happened to me too a while ago.
Oh, you never listened to The Cure? Oh man. Oh geez. Well, they broke up, so it's okay. But all right, so you always did digital photography. And so what kind of equipment do you use now?
Nowadays, my private equipment is all Canon based.
Canon.
Then for one company, I constantly work. It's Sony stuff, and
Uh-huh.
for another one, it's Phase One.
Mm-hmm. So that's cool. Now, when you use Canon, you use a Canon camera, Canon lenses, Canon lights. Like, is
No,
everything
the
Canon?
lights are not Canon, just the camera gear is Canon.
Just the Canon? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Very cool. So, okay, so you're doing a lot of commercial stuff in Germany, in Munich. Maybe like what, magazine work, taking photos of food, taking photos of like products and stuff,
Yeah,
and models and
yes,
so on.
yes.
Tell me a little bit about that,
Um,
like that industry at that time.
Again, actually, I started with this wedding stuff, right?
Mhm.
But after that, directly the food photography was the
Mhm.
first part. So we
Mhm.
made pictures for the cooking books.
Mhm.
We had food stylists, we had the
Mhm.
kitchen.
Mhm.
Our team was like really into making everything real.
Mhm.
So there was
Mhm.
no chemicals included or involved. So that food you saw in the picture was actually eatable, which
What?
which is not in many cases. Like I would say back in time at least, like more than half of the food productions were always like with chemicals, especially when it comes to beer shots or something
Mhm.
where you need to form or something.
Yeah.
That it looks nice, you make a fake form, right?
Yeah.
So and that it's stays. Or if you have like ice or the fat, the oily part on steaks or something.
Yeah.
This is like very easy to fake with chemicals that it stays long time like this and you can have time to set the light and everything.
Yeah.
But we did it the other way around. We set everything already, like the set was perfectly prepared, and then just the food stylist needs to rush, needs to come. We have 30 seconds, shoot, and then send to the client. Client says, okay, we like it. Or if the client doesn't like it, then we need to do it again. So the whole thing, the whole process started from the beginning again. So the budget was very high, of course.
Yeah, it's a lot of steak.
That's a lot of steak. We had like a steak cooking book that was one of my favorites for the first week.
Yeah.
And the second week was terrible because after that I was vegetarian for like 2 or 3 months.
Oh,
Too much steak. We ate steak every day.
wait, how could you be a vegetarian in Germany?
It's easy.
Was it
much
easy?
easier than Japan. Yeah. It's definitely very, very easy. It's very vegetarian friendly country.
Wow, when I was in Berlin, all we did was eat meat. It was like
Yeah,
that
that's your
and
choice.
Turkish
That's
that
your
and
choice.
Turkish food. Maybe it was like the clubbers that I was hanging out with, but yeah, it was like steak, chicken, all sorts of beef, hamburger, lots of Turkish food. You have no idea how much Turkish food I ate in Berlin. It was crazy. The donut, you must eat the donut. So I was eating donors all the time. Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. Very delicious.
Yeah, good.
Very delicious.
True.
Yeah, I didn't know they had vegetables in Berlin.
Yeah, true. Berlin is maybe a different topic, especially that it's like more Turkey than Germany, but in a good way, in a very nice way. If it comes to döner, or what I also like is pide. Do you know this Turkish pizza? Looks like a ship in the shape of a ship.
No, I got to go back.
Really good.
Got to go back.
But anyway,
I love the food.
Food photography was nice. The
Mhm.
steak cooking book was also nice, as we had so much steak. But again, the second week was terrible because like you had like, do you know this Argentinian steak where you have those sticks and it's like how can I say, like 2 sticks at an open fire, and the beef, the shoulder, I think it is. It's like kind of knitted to the sticks and hangs over the fire.
Kind of like yakitori.
Kind of, but in huge and large.
Oh,
like the whole shoulder.
I'm so yeah. Take me to Argentina. Take me there.
They tried this, or not. They replicated that method. So they did that in a huge park, right?
Yeah.
Not a park. What's it called? Like a car park. In the studio, there was a
Parking
car
lot,
park and a parking lot, and there was also a little park, and that was all owned by the studio.
Yeah.
So in that park, we had this huge fire and this Argentinian steak, like getting ready more than a day or something.
Yeah.
So the next day was
good.
like stuff like this was really the most delicious meat I ever had in my life, to be honest. But again, 2 weeks meat only. Like no, it was like after this 2 weeks I was like done with that, right? So anyway, that was the food time. The food time was good, but it was mixed in with the product time. We learned to take product pictures, all type of products, right? A 360-degree photography, which was like very popular in the 2010, 11. Like every shop had like this 360, even shoes, you know, like an Adidas shoe was like I want to see inside and the bottom and whatever, right? So we did that.
Cool.
Pharmacy, blah blah blah, all types of products. Like I would say not the lowest point of my career. It was a high point actually, because in one moment I became a studio leader, like the manager of the studio. I still took pictures, but I also had like people working for me.
Yeah.
But the content we were taking pictures of was questionable. For example, dog food for the big company Lidl. Do you know Lidl? It's like
I don't know. I don't have a dog.
It's like Walmart in America, like this big in Europe, right? So and dog food, or what's it called? Tampons. like you need. We had a stylist.
You had to take photos.
You have a stylist. You have a set, and you need to take a good picture of it, right? And the stylist, like, okay, there's a tampon. So what we need as a decoration for a tampon?
Flowers.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Like, this guy knows his job, right? So
I know tampons.
Yeah. So flowers.
Got 4 sisters.
And they all do flowers, right? So yeah, that was like fun in a way, but it was a good experience also to lead this product studio.
Very cool.
Yeah, and that was like around 3 years. And then a lot of sports photography, which was the most scariest time.
Sports was scary. What kind of sports? Was it MMA, boxing,
No,
karate?
climbing, downhill biking.
Really? So you're going downhill on a bike with a camera in your hand?
No. I was
Hold still.
no. We had a driver in a
Yeah.
van and me, like on two, what's it called, expander, those ropes, right?
Uh-huh.
And I was like lying in the back of the van. The doors were open.
Yeah.
The assistant was holding my belt. So in worst case, if the car jumps and I really would fall out, that he could pull me back. So I
Yeah.
was lying there taking the pictures, and the cyclists were like after the car. Sometimes we go behind them, in front of them, like this.
Jeez, man, it's like a spy movie. You're like a sniper.
Yeah, it's cool because usually you never come into the situation that you lie in an open van, like with half of your body out and taking the pictures of like people going really fast down.
You usually don't do that.
Usually not, right? So, but for commercials you do. And
Uh-huh.
then later, because this like one of those shootings we did for like an Bavarian beer brand, and it's like they had a non-alcoholic version of their beer. So this non-alcoholic version is a sponsor for a certain type of sports like triathlon or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So they're wearing those suits with this big logo, right? Those cyclists. So I took those pictures, and then a week later, the client told us, "Hey, that's all. The pictures are amazing and shit. But actually, it's the wrong bicycles. This is not our sponsored company. So it's a different bicycle company."
Whose fault is that?
Not mine, right? So
Yeah.
they gave us like Cube Bikes, which is a very nice brand, but it was the wrong brand because they're not connected to that company, to that beer company. So they sent us the bicycles, and back in the studio, we after they selected the pictures, we needed to place the bicycles in the position which matches to those pictures. Take a single shot, also adjust the light that it looks like the daylight situation there. And then with Photoshop, back in time there was no algorithm doing that, and still I would not use it because everybody's doing that. Is like
I mean AI, right?
Yeah, AI, yeah. And yeah, we took those bicycle pictures separately and then photoshopped them in and stuff like this.
Cool.
And a very quick, ridiculous ending of this client. He also had like a triathlon women, sports women. And they're very, how can I say, like they have a very sporty body, right? Because they're swimming, they're shooting, they're cycling. They do like not cycling.
Oh, like the Iron Man thing, right?
A little bit,
cycling,
a little.
running, swimming, or something.
Yeah, they have those free challenges.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So they have a very strong body.
Yeah.
They had portrait shots with the beer in their hands.
Oh, nice.
No alcohol beer.
The beer must look really small in their big hands.
It did, yeah. And the agency, there was like a marketing agency in between us and the client. The client was happy with the picture, but the agency still said like, "Hey, actually, it's beautiful and everything, but can you make them a little bit more sexy?" And we said, "What? They are kind of famous sports people. Why they don't need? I mean, they're sports people."
Do you like Photoshop like lipstick on their lips?
No, and then
make their lips a little more red.
Yeah, kind of. No, they said like, can you give all of them a cup size bigger because they're all quite flat because they have like such a, like they're the double of us.
Man, you're going to lawsuit territory right there when you start somebody's body. I mean, that's what happened to like Back to the Future Part 2.
No, but I understand in Japanese gravure photography that they get bigger boobs with liquefying. Okay, that makes sense, but not in sports photography.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not the action sports photography. It was the portrait, right? For the banners, like when the beer brand is standing here and like that's her and she's holding the beer.
Yeah.
That's funny. Anyway,
yeah, you're out of frame.
This is Shanghai? No, Berlin.
Oh, this right here is Berlin, man.
Yeah, that's Berlin, right?
Yeah, that's Berlin. Yeah. So that's Berlin. So for all you guys that are like listening to us on audio, we're talking about the paintings that we have in the background. So I've got these two paintings, and this one on the left is Berlin, and the one on the right is Tokyo. And I used to have New York, and New York was actually my favorite, and but that one sold. And so basically, if you look at Earth like this, right? Earth is like a circle. On one side you have Tokyo, and then on the other side you've got Berlin, and then kind of in the middle to the north or wherever you've got New York, right? So it's kind of like a triangle.
Kind of. Yeah.
So if you look at them, so all together at the same exact time during the day, it's going to be morning in Japan, when it's in the daytime in Berlin, which would be nighttime in New York. So I had like a nighttime New York, daytime Berlin, and then morning time Tokyo. And those are my three favorite cities.
It's pretty cool.
So yeah, but this one lady wanted New York. And I was like, hey, listen, I'm so sorry. Was it a lady or was it a dude? It was kind of like a family. But anyway, so I was like, listen, you got to buy all three. It's a set. And then she gave me a number. She gave me enough where I couldn't refuse. And I was like, all right, you got New York. And so now the set doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
That's
no
still
night.
nice.
So yeah,
That's
so I
still
got
nice.
morning in Tokyo and I got daytime in Berlin. So yeah, Berlin's
With
great.
the
Love Berlin.
Alex, that's the tower called.
Alexanderplatz. Yeah, love it. Oh gosh.
Cool.
Yeah. Glad you noticed that.
Yes. It's like first I thought Shanghai, but the rest doesn't match to Shanghai. So this one it also doesn't look like the Shanghai one, right? So it must be Berlin.
Yeah, well, you never know. There's everything in China at this point.
And here, of course, the Brandenburger Tor.
Yep,
This,
yep.
what's it called?
There she
The
is.
peace thing, and this is like the famous
The
Gothic
church,
church.
the cathedral.
And
Yeah,
this must be some
the
mosque.
government building.
The
Yeah,
government building. Oh,
yeah,
okay. Yeah, cool.
yeah. All those buildings mean something. They're all there, except for that one. The small one. I made that one up.
Yeah.
That's my house.
That's fake. That's fake.
I'm a phony. Yeah. But yeah, going back to, so you're doing product photography, then you moved into sports photography, and there's a lot of Photoshop that the clients wanted you to do that, was kind of unethical to a degree. And
Sometimes, I mean, it sometimes happened. I mean, it just like
not all the
talked
time,
about
but sometimes.
some small extreme examples.
Yeah.
But yeah, we covered, or I covered everything, like interior photography also, which I'm still doing a lot here in Japan, actually.
Cool.
But the product thing was always like a parallel running thing, and
Yeah.
then in between sports and other things like food and sports and blah blah blah, I always switched. Event photography also here in Japan often, actually.
Yeah. And it pays the bills though, right? It's pretty good, right?
It does. Like in Germany,
Good.
much more than in Japan, because it's funny because like so many camera brands like coming from Japan, not the best ones, but the good ones, the very like loyal ones, like Canon, like it's a working machine, right? You can use it forever and it's really, really nice. It's not the high-end level like the Sina or the Hasselblad from Sweden or something, or the Leica from Germany, but this is very overrated in my opinion, but that's a different topic.
Yeah.
But the photography in Japan as a commercial object in a creative, or not in a creative, in a how can I say, in a way that you have a very high level but still being arty, is kind of not really respected or wanted. Like Japan, everything is very low budget if it comes to commercial. And if they have a high budget, they're super conservative and they ruin everything with their conservativeness. So in Europe, and I guess in America, it's definitely the same. It's like way more open-minded. It's way more big. It's more budget. And that's like a, how can I say, money-wise, I'm not here in Japan for, right? It's not the money. So otherwise, I would stay in Germany or in Europe, because like I was living close to the Austrian border. So I had like 20-30% of my clients were from Austria, Czech Republic, and the rest was Germany, Italy, Spain, England.
Cool. Very cool.
Also French. We had a shooting for the French.
Nice.
The French.
Yeah. And so what brought you to Japan? Was it photography or
no,
not at all? Sorry.
Damn. That brought me to Japan.
Skytree?
No. Hey, Skytree, when I was the first time in Japan, there wasn't even a single hint of Skytree.
I remember the protests where there were turned down houses.
Oh yeah, okay, maybe.
I've been here since I've been here for a long time.
Yeah, it sounds like.
Yeah.
No, but Tokyo Tower, did you know that Tokyo Tower is actually made of Sherman tanks?
It's made of German tanks?
Sherman tanks, American Sherman tanks from the Korean War, melted down after the Korean War, and those metal from those tanks got used to build the Tokyo Tower.
Are we allowed to talk about this? Yeah.
It's not a conspiracy theory, it's a symbol of peace, isn't it?
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, all right.
What?
I don't know. I don't want to get in trouble saying the wrong thing.
Ah, okay. If you want to check, please check.
Hmm.
What's the material of the Tokyo Tower made of, or where is it coming from?
Sherman tanks from the Korean War. Wow,
Mm.
well, that's a great use of weaponry, melting it down and making it into a symbol of peace
In a way, yes,
and
right?
communication. And
Yeah.
Tokyo Tower is like the main form of communication back in the day. It was like the biggest like a tower, like I guess audio-visual tower. I mean, that's how like people got television,
Mhm.
like all throughout like the Tokyo area. So yeah. I wonder if they do the same thing with Skytree. I think Skytree
No.
is just more for tourism.
Yeah, no, Skytree is the, how can I say, a symbol of the government to show how their stamina or whatever. I don't know.
Which do you prefer, Skytree or Tokyo Tower?
Of course, Tokyo Tower,
Fuck yeah. Thank you.
100%.
Thank you for saying
And
that.
I'm not saying this for any nostalgic reason.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like nobody needs the Skytree. It's dislocated.
Hmm.
It's like what is cool on the Skytree, I have to say.
Mm.
Recently, I went back from Sendai and it was at least 100 kilometers away from Tokyo, and
Mm.
I freaking could see the Skytree in the horizon already.
Pretty tall.
It's really tall, so that's impressive.
Yeah.
And also, like maybe due to this architecture, as closer you come, it's not getting taller. So it
Uh-huh.
feels like it's always like it's as closer you get, it tinier it feels because
Hmm.
it's so thin and everything, right?
Yeah.
But if you constantly go away from it and you
Hmm.
realize, okay, it stays like this. Or if you start from Narita Airport, you can see Mount Fuji in the distance, you can see the Skytree in the distance,
Yeah.
and it takes you like 2 or 3 minutes to be on over the Skytree, and then another 5, 6 minutes that you're finally over Mount Fuji. So the horizon thing is also quite interesting that you can
Mm.
feel how massive this human piece of
Metal.
stamina showing metal is.
Yeah. See, I've only been there once, and that was when my sister came here about 5 years ago. And I was pretty happy to go there. I mean, of course, the view is absolutely amazing, but I was absolutely thrilled about the Skytree's one benefit. It has a bar.
Tokyo Tower has a bar too.
No.
It's gone?
Well, when I went there, I mean, I don't go there every day, of course, but the last time I went to Tokyo Towers when my mother and my grandmother were in town, and there was maybe a vending machine or something. I didn't see a bar. Maybe it's a new thing or something, but yeah, I didn't see a bar there. But in Skytree, went to Skytree, we're walking around. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I guess my area is right over there. And oh, cool. You can see some mountains and stuff. It's pretty nice, whatever. And I was walking by the beer, and I was like, hey, where'd you get that? And he's like, over there. There's a bar. And I'm like, hell yeah. So we got drinks and we're having drinks, like looking out the window and checking out the beautiful view of Tokyo from Skytree. It's good to do once, I guess.
I think so. They also had like 90s parties before COVID. I don't know if they
Hmm.
still continue this, but they were actual real events, like
Hmm.
disco events.
In
In Skytree,
Skytree?
up in Tokyo Skytree.
No
Yes,
kidding.
yes, yes,
Wow.
yes.
I wonder how much a ticket for that was.
I have no idea.
Hmm. That'd be cool. Could you imagine being up there during an earthquake? Go, go, go. You're like, this is it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I had a report from a guy I knew. He has an apartment on the 52nd floor, so
Uh-huh.
quite high, right? Like 170 meters or 180 meters.
Pretty high.
And when this big earthquake, the Tohoku earthquake happened,
Yeah, 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 I remember.
he was sitting watching television, and
Uh-huh.
then on his table, nothing moved. Like he just felt like, okay, something is like really wildly going like a few meters from the left to the right, the whole room, but he just feels it. And then the windows started opening, closing, opening, closing, and then everything else.
Wow.
If you're on a certain level above the
Mhm.
like
You
you
can open your
swing.
windows in the 50th floor?
Yeah, of course. He has a
Really?
huge balcony, like a
Oh,
almost
for a balcony.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I thought that you open the window and it goes straight down or
No, no,
something.
no, 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 no,
I'm
no.
like, dude.
There's another balcony, but he could
Yeah.
jump if he wants.
Oh
So,
God, don't. Jeez, God, that freaks me out. But wow. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was here and basically, what was it? Yeah, it was a roller. It was a roller. It's like like forward and backwards, left and right and stuff during the Tohoku earthquake in 2011.
yeah.
Like all my dishes in my kitchen like fell down and stuff. And, like half of them shattered, smash, and stuff were falling off my table. Yeah, I was watching South Park when it happened.
Oh, nice.
I was watching South Park and I was like, "Wow!" Yeah, that was crazy. So, all right, what brought you to Japan? Definitely not Skytree, although Skytree is
Tokyo,
nice.
the city of Tokyo impressed me. Like we have
Mhm.
not something insane like this in Europe. Like Europe is like many old cities, many beautiful cities, historical cities, but
Everything is
not,
historical there.
yeah, but not this weird mess up, mush up thing of trash art and craziness. Like Tokyo is just yeah, it's like you put many ingredients into a mixer, switch it on, and then spill it all over the world, and then it's the biggest city in the world. Like it's a really big piece of art in a way.
Mm.
So Tokyo, the city itself, and the people. I made very quickly friends, which was really cool because I did not
Mhm.
expect that. When I was as a tourist in, I don't know, Barcelona or other cities, like usually the locals treat visitors as like, ha, I'm nice to you because you're a tourist, you bring money, but I don't care about you. I don't give a shit, you know?
Yeah.
And here was the opposite. Like
Mhm.
people, at least back in 2009 in
Oh
Tokyo.
yeah, that's way different compared to now.
Yeah. Now it's terrible, but it's also because of a kind of fascist government, but it's a different topic.
Well, we're
Uh,
not going to talk about the government here.
No,
Not
no,
going to
no,
talk
no, no,
about
no,
the
no,
government
no.
here. Not going to talk about the government here.
And I did not
We're
say the F
alive,
word.
dude.
Yeah, I did not
We're
say the
alive.
F word.
Don't say the C word either. Das ist nicht so gut.
Yeah, so the people, they were
Yes.
very friendly and very welcoming,
Uh-huh.
and
Uh-huh.
they took it serious. They were
Mm-hmm.
not like treating you like just another visitor.
Mm-hmm.
And not you had not the foreigner bonus or something. It was like maybe lucky coincidence, but we saw this fireworks display in Odaiba. Back in time, it was still for free. In
Mm-hmm.
Odaiba, there's an artificial beach, which is quite nice.
Mm-hmm.
Odaiba is like an man-made island in Tokyo.
Great.
It's 1/5 of Tokyo is actually man-made islands out into the ocean, right? So they gain land to make this city bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those islands is Odaiba, and there was a firework, and this firework like took like 2 hours. That was also the first time in my life to see like a firework display that long.
It
In
was two
Germany, two
hours?
hours back in time,
Wow.
they were like freaking zeppelins flying over that firework. Where I thought like, okay, maybe they burn. Like there's a Hindenburg thing going on soon or something.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Like the whole atmosphere.
Hindenburg.
The,
Oh, the humanity.
yeah. All the atmosphere was like so fresh to me, something
Uh-huh.
you could never see in Europe, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
Zeppelins, very outdated, but in Tokyo they were still a everyday thing back in time.
Love the band.
Yeah, and those restaurant boats with the tiny lanterns, like going through the Tokyo Bay,
Those are
where
always
people
fun.
dine, and they have nice lights, so they look
Booze cruise. Yeah.
pretty cool. And then you sit at this beach with hundreds of people, and it was very hot. It was like August. It's I think there's not a single point in Europe where you reach this humidity and heat. So
Mhm.
Italy is also hot. Spain is also hot, but they're way more dry.
Mhm.
So you never
Mhm.
have this tropical experience. It was also the
Mhm.
first time in my life to experience this.
Mhm.
And then you're at this beach, and there's many people in yukata, like this traditional Japanese summer wear robe thing.
It's like a light kimono.
It's a very light kimono, yes,
Yeah.
and it's like, but not in a too much nationalist traditional way, really in an enjoyable way, like in
Mhm.
a modern way. Like the girls have like cute hairstyles, and
Mhm. Mhm.
the guys have like what's it called?
The fan.
The fans
Mhm.
in like the huge belts, and like
Mhm.
it's nice that they can wear skirts. I think all guys want to wear skirts, they just cannot do it. And in this period of time they can do it.
Mhm.
So they're
Like,
happy with it. Yes. So
we're not even Scottish.
yeah, without being Scottish, you can
Yeah.
still wear a skirt in Japan. Yeah, so it was like very impressive,
Mhm.
and there was a coincidence that we met like people there,
Mhm.
like a German-speaking Japanese guy,
Mhm.
then the son of the German ambassador, which was also super coincidence that it
Mhm.
was right there at this spot. And then a
Nice.
Chinese guy brought us there because he could hear us speaking at the station.
Mhm.
Yurikamome station was like we were waiting in line. It was also the first time for me to experience to
Mhm.
wait 30 minutes to enter a train because so many people wanted to go to Odaiba.
Mhm.
So at
Yeah.
Shimbashi, like the main land side, it was like so many people waiting for the train. The train is
Good
like,
thing you didn't take a boat. If you take a boat, it takes you 2 hours.
yeah, no. It's crazy.
Mhm.
So yeah, anyway, coincidence, many nice people, and this German-speaking Japanese guy he know a German-speaking Japanese woman he studied together with back in Germany in Kyoto. And we had like 3 destinations. We had Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka, and our flight back was from Osaka. So when we arrived in Kyoto, there was another beautiful woman, a beautiful person, Sayaka. She was waiting for us there, like kind of like not like a tourist guide, but she was like welcoming us in a very local way, showed us the good spots and everything from the beginning.
That's important.
And back in time, Kyoto was also not that overcrowded with tourists, but
already good old days.
Yeah, but already more than Tokyo. Like if there were tourists in Japan, then they were in Kyoto. It was not super full, but there were already those shitty spots, right? Where like it's already like too much there.
Yeah.
So, and we could avoid this easily because she said, oh yeah, this temple, you don't need to see. This is a tourist trap kind of, like you should go there.
It's like Hachiko.
Yeah. So, yeah. Nowadays, back in time, Hachiko was still a cool spot to meet, actually, where you can smoke and blah, blah, blah. But anyway. Yeah, so we met nice people, and a friend and I, we both decided one day we should move to Japan, and that came like actually quite quick. Just like 6 years later, 7 years later, we finally moved to Japan.
Wow. So you first came here in 2009. You experienced Japan back then.
Yeah.
And then 6 years later, like 2015, you moved here.
Yeah,
Wow.
We had like I did like holiday every year in Japan. Like every year I came for 2 or 3 weeks, and then in 2015 I came for 2 months. And then those 2 months I really wanted to check out. I needed to take this time off, and it was very difficult. So it was like unpaid leave a little bit. But I wanted to experience, can I not just be a tourist here? Can I also live here? Can I really like it?
Yeah.
And I did, like those 2 weeks, I made, again, more serious friends I still hang out with if they're still in Japan, because like, again, as a foreigner, you have to face the truth. I would say, in my opinion, if you're bilingual, it's cool if you speak Japanese and Japanese and your language or English, but still maximum half of the younger generation of Japanese would be interested in you. Just because you're a foreigner, even you speak Japanese, they would be not interested in you. And I think it's a global thing. It's in every country like this, but it's maybe Japan is maybe a little bit more conservative still. So that's why, I don't know. But anyway, I could live with this. Like I can imagine always being the outsider here. Like
You'll always be the outsider.
Yeah, and if you really can deal with this,
even when you pay taxes, you're still the outsider. Right?
Yeah.
So, Shogunai, right?
So if you can deal with this, then you can live here, and that's what I experienced in this 2 months. So after that, like in 2016, so a year later, then I moved.
That's cool, man. And so you moved here just because you love the culture, you love the people, you just love the city. You love not just the city, but you love the country in itself, right?
Except for the government and the police, I like everything in Japan.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's enemies.
All right. There's a lot of people who listen to us.
I love everything.
I love everything too. But that's fantastic. So when you first came here and stuff, did you decide like, okay, so I'm here, I want to do photography here, or I want to do like a lot of people that come here. I hear, dude, like everybody that comes here that even dabbles in photography, they tell me, because I meet a lot of international people and the work that I do, I meet a lot of people that are coming here for 1 year, 6 months, 2 years, 5 years, they get a visa for a project or something. And a lot of them say they're a photographer. They're usually not a photographer, and they want to do a photography book on street culture, or they want to do a photography book on Japanese fashion or Japanese apartments. Or one guy wanted to do like he wanted to take photos of what was inside Japanese people's refrigerators. So like he was going to people's homes and opening up the refrigerator, taking a photo, and that was it. So everybody comes here for a book. Not everybody, but a lot of people come here to make a book, right? And then they go back to their country and they sell it or whatever. So is that something that you wanted to do, or did you bypass that to get to where you're at now? Because right now you're a living legend.
No, whoa. Again, thank you so much. But what I'm doing here is like what you see is my artwork.
Yes.
This is the Makusu thing, right? Well, my homepage, Instagram, and that stuff.
But
it's not my work. My work is being the photographer, the commercial photographer, which I just continued here.
Yeah.
So having a network, having people, having jobs. 50% got killed during COVID, and the other 50% benefited from this, right? So I was thankfully, because I had like a client who sponsored my studio,
Mhm.
I was on the benefiting side because I had no more events and shit like this because everything was gone.
Yeah, I remember.
But products and fashion and so on
Mhm.
continued in that studio, so I could survive.
Nice.
It's a roller coaster. I would say now in
Mm.
don't be negative on the podcast, but I'm a very lowest point of my career right now, I would say. And I still feel freaking high and happy, so it's cool.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, Japan is not the reason, like photography is not the reason why I am here, or I think it's also not the pop art I'm into. I like the how can I say, not the designs, but the visual, if not effects, I don't find the right word. I want to say if the
Mm.
like the air is different. Already the color of the air in Japan is different.
The atmosphere,
The
the
atmosphere,
environment.
the environment, but literally the air is different. If you take like a picture in summer in Tokyo, it's like the humidity you can see
Oh,
and the
okay.
colors, even the
Yeah,
colors, like it's hard to describe, but
it's magical.
in a way it's magical and it's like
I've always thought Japan was a magical place. And the further you get out of Tokyo, the more magical it
it's
is.
inspiring. And
Yeah.
what I wanted to say, actually, I make it simple. I like people. I love people. People are my number one inspiration.
Mhm.
And there's no other place on earth with so many people than Tokyo.
Well, you've never been
Here
to
we go.
China.
Yeah, no, but China is different. Like this is like they have huge, large cities, but they're like
Mhm.
here and there, blah 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 blah. And here
Mhm.
everything is like thrown into one spot. Like,
Yeah, Tokyo's just boom like that. Or Japan just has Tokyo, which is concentrated.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I've got a lot of Chinese friends, and yeah, when I ask them about where they live, they're like, "Oh, I live in this small little village in North China." I'm like, "Well, tell me about it." They're like, "Oh, it's so small. There's only like 30 million people there." I don't know. I know everybody. I'm like, "What? 30 million? Tokyo only has 13 million." Oh, is it 13.5 now? But whatever. But yeah, so yeah, that's pretty wild, man. So okay, so you're doing commercial work, you're doing fashion, you're doing this kind of stuff, food, you're doing sports. I'm sure you did the Olympics. Did you work on the Olympics here?
I got requested and then
Yeah.
COVID hit and then the whole thing got set up again. The
Uh-huh.
budgets were recalculated and
Uh-huh.
the company who would ask me were not involved in
Yeah,
that
yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
So I had no job during
Ah, for
the Olympics.
real?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah. I lost almost all my business and all my work during COVID. Like, I mean, it was like really bad. I didn't even tell anybody how bad it was. Actually, right now is probably the first time they're hearing how bad
Yeah,
it
but it's
was.
interesting to
But
know
yeah.
because like everybody suffered from this. The whole world suffered from this, and
Mhm.
it's many mistakes from governments. Again, it's a government issue, and
Let's not talk about the government. But yeah, anyway, COVID sucked. I lost like 90% of all my business and stuff. Thank God for art. All my work switched over and stuff. Like I lost all the events, all the exhibitions, all that stuff. It just went away, evaporated, right? But then because people are home, they started buying artwork and commissioning me to buy it for my artwork and stuff. And I was like, oh my God. So then I started focusing more on artwork and stuff. So I benefited indirectly. And right now, actually, COVID kind of saved me because I mean, it made me focus more on art and give more, just like dedicate my life to artwork and painting, and then helping others be artistic and helping them get their work out there with like future exhibitions and
yeah.
stuff. Because I once like COVID was done, I was like, all right, exhibit, exhibit, exhibit. Let's get this going. And then also like at that time during COVID, I had a lot of free time to focus on myself and really think about who I am and what I'm doing with artwork. So my artwork completely changed. Like I've got an exhibition happening this Sunday. If you come to the exhibition, it's all my blacklight artwork, which is kind of what I used to be famous for. Not famous, but well known for. And when you go there, I'm gonna have one wall of my old stuff that I really loved, and then I'm gonna have more of my newer stuff, and then I'm gonna have my newest stuff, right? So you can see like how I've progressed. And when you go from my old stuff to like my kind of newer stuff, it's like night and day. And
Do you
that's
have an example, just quickly? What's
like,
the key point, a different key point?
okay, all right. So back in the day, I used to do this kind of stuff, this graffiti influence kind of black light kind of art stuff, right? And it's basically just like a lot of like juxtaposition of shapes and colors that are, even though they're juxtaposed, they have a unity to them. There's a very, very, very strong feeling of balance in all my paintings, right? So I had that. And then I would do that, and that would be like one layer, right?
Mhm.
And then what I would do is I would get one of my friends who's a photographer, not as good as you, just joking, but no. But anyway, so I get one of my friends as a photographer, and I'd find like a model, or get one of my friends. I know a lot of models, and I'd put them together and stuff, and then I would like have a photo shoot with a concept, right? A lot of the concepts that I had were focused around music. And so we do a photo shoot, and then from the photo, I would make a stencil. And then that stencil, I would spray paint that stencil on the painting. So it'd be a stencil of a model that my friend took. So it's like all 100% mine, right?
Mhm.
So I did that for a long, long time. And I thought that was cool. And then Banksy, then I noticed Banksy started doing lots of stencils. I was like, oh, that's cool too. So anyway, um, then during Corona, like at the beginning of Corona, I was going through my Instagram and I saw one of my paintings, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's one of mine." Then I looked at it a little bit closely. I was like, "Wait a second, that isn't my painting, but it looks very similar to one of my paintings." So I clicked on this kid's Instagram page, and basically he didn't completely copy my style, but he really copied my style and copied a lot of my concepts and a lot of like the paintings and the model kind of stuff that I was doing, and it was like very, it was like kind of like it was Pepsi to Coke, right? And I was like, oh shit. And then I told my wife, I was like, look at this guy. And she's like, how does he know you? He must know you. And I looked, and there's like, it showed like friends, and he's like friends with some of my friends,
Mhm.
right? And I was like, oh my God, he must have came to one of my exhibitions, saw my work, and probably said to himself, like, I can do that. And he did. So then my wife's like, you got to do something different, you know? And then from there, I just started experimenting and working. And, you know, I made one painting every day for a couple of months before I started to kind of develop the Pop Six style that I'm doing now. And so thank God, you know, sometimes when somebody rips you off, yeah, it's flattering, but it kind of puts you in a position where like it forces you to get out of your comfort zone. And I think it was a good thing that this kid ripped me off, because the thing is, it's just like I was too comfortable in my comfort zone.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to Europe like once or twice a year. I was having exhibitions there and live painting there, live painting all over Tokyo, but I was just doing the same style again and again and again. You know, I kind of fell in that Andy Warhol like kind of like corner where you just kind of do the same thing just because it works, you know? And I didn't realize it. I thought I was breaking rules and doing all sorts of cool stuff, but then I realized I wasn't.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense. It has like a certain a crisis ideology in a
Yeah.
way, which I understand. Like I think every creator, and I'm not talking about shitty content creator on social media, I mean real artists.
Yeah.
They create something, and if it feels like it's repeating and repeating itself, then they have an inner force that makes them change bits, even it changed to something worse. For example, if you listen to Korn, they used to be so good, and what they're doing now is like, what? But anyway, they maybe they're producers, but in best case themselves, they
Yeah.
force themselves to always change, make something new, make something different.
Yeah.
And I think when a guy copies you like this kid, of course it's sad in a way, but it's also a compliment indirectly, because then he
Yeah.
really likes your stuff in
Yeah.
a way.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
really tries to achieve that.
Mhm.
And in a way, maybe, I don't know if it's like a miracle, but you felt pushed to change something, and in the end, you felt it's good that you did, right?
Absolutely.
So that's a maybe lucky coincidence. I don't know.
Yeah.
Quickly, I don't know why this example drops into my mind now, but I have to bring it because it's a
Do it.
short,
Do it.
funny story.
I love short, funny
I
stories.
have a photographer colleague. He's very nice. He did like for Leica, this overrated German camera brand. He did expeditions to the South Pole. And there were always rich people with like a group of 30 rich people on a ship. Everybody has the Leica. And he's the photographer. They go with a ship from Argentina to the south, to the very south of the world, right?
Wow. Wow.
And then they take pictures in this unreal nice environment of the South Pole. And Antarctic, ne? Yeah,
Antarctica, yeah.
So
Canada, Antarctica.
yeah, that's right. That's
basically right.
so true.
The North Pole is Canada. Let's be honest.
Yeah. By the way, nowadays, because you cannot fly over Russia anymore, sometimes when you fly from Europe, from Japan, you fly over the North Pole, and this is like very impressive
Really?
to see this ice from the top. But anyway,
Santa.
So he has this expeditions to go there
Yeah.
through the Drake Passage, which is like average waves of 5 meters, which like everybody gets like a tiny sticker of drugs behind the ear that you lose your balance system because otherwise you would puke constantly. And everybody's high on drugs for 2 or 3 days going through the Drake Passage, and then you arrive at the South Pole. And the first time he did it twice. The first time he did it was with a mixed group all over the world, people from everywhere, from Canada,
Yeah.
from US,
Yeah.
from Europe, from everywhere. They brought their Leica, and he went there and he explained, okay, now we have this iceberg and this penguin, and I take a picture like this, and you use the camera like this, and please feel free to do what you want. And then everybody spread out.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, and it was like just a few hours later, everybody came back to the ship, like everybody's safe and so on, and then they left, right? So this was the plan.
Yeah.
The second time he did this expedition was specifically for a group of Chinese, rich Chinese, all with a Leica. So, and he was like, so when he told me the story, he was like constantly smiling because for him it was so impressive, the difference of culture and worshipping art or technique, craftsmanship, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
He showed how he would take the picture, and what he's used to, this international clients, they were spread out and do their thing. But what the Chinese did, they made a line, like Japanese almost. They queued in line on the same spot where he was taking that picture. He used a tripod, right? So they placed their tripod at the exact same point, used the exact same settings, put their camera there, and try to take exactly the same picture like him. And
Really?
he was like, should I stop them or should I just let them? Okay, I mean, they're free to do anything what they want.
Yeah.
They have this one and only lifetime chance here in the Antarctica to take pictures, and they try to copy me that hard. Maybe it's cool. But he was like overwhelmed because like he never expected that they would like waste this time, and that they were like each needed like 20-30 minutes. So the other one were just standing there and waiting and talking like, oh, it's so nice. Yeah, it's so nice.
But the time the last person took their photo, he was waiting in line for like 4 hours, and then everybody had to get back in the boat. And like, all right,
exactly,
I got the photo.
They got that photo, which looks exactly the same like the master photographer, the teacher, the sensei did.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is like, he felt like not just the cultural difference, but this is like how this kid copied you.
Yeah.
Is like he tried to exactly do what you did.
Yeah.
Maybe he has nothing more in his head, or it's his culture. You know what I mean?
No, well, I didn't even think about that. Like the copy culture. Yeah, wow, that's really interesting. But the way I make my artwork now, it's really tough to copy. So that's, I mean, but the thing is, I mean, geez, I mean, it only takes a matter of time before somebody does copy it, but who cares at this point, you know?
Right.
I mean, this right here is Popsick. This is what I'm doing now.
Okay.
Yeah, Charles Bukowski, man. Love Charles. Love you, Charlie. But
for the audio people, he's showing his t-shirt.
My t-shirt, one of my t-shirts, yes, which is available at thespiltink.com. Go there and buy your own. Please don't copy it. Please don't copy it. No
screenshots.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Did you ever do NFTs?
No.
You didn't do NFTs?
No.
I made NFTs. Yeah. I made, I think, 25 NFTs, and I sold 8 to 12. I can't remember.
Okay.
Yeah. When it was like a fad. You know, when everybody was doing NFTs, everybody's like, Johnny, you got to do an NFT. I'm like, what's an NFT? But anyway, so I did NFTs for a minute. But yeah, you could just copy those.
Yeah, right.
Easy.
I mean, it's the same like now people using AI in Photoshop, and then Photoshop is marking in the metadata that it's like made with AI, which is like very simple. It's still, if you zoom in, you can see the mistakes and the trouble the AI brings with it. And
well, I'm going to get in trouble for this?
No. But you have to agree with Photoshop that like they can how can I say,
manipulate or
use your data also for their own good.
What?
And if you agree to that, then you can use the AI tools, the AI-based tools.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense because they use what you work on. They theoretically can use for their AI. If you have a picture of a mountain, or no, let's say Tokyo skyline, your picture, and you use the AI to extend the left side,
just and
you don't have any visual material of
it.
The AI knows, but left of Tokyo Skytree, there is this shrine in Asakusa, so it will take a picture from somebody who used Photoshop and agreed to it, and place this shrine in Asakusa to
All right.
So it goes this
Yeah.
way around and the other way around.
That makes sense.
Yes.
That makes sense.
And this
yeah.
is marked in the metadata of your picture. But you can actually just load it into Photoshop again as a JPEG, take a copy of it, like save it again, or take a screenshot of it, and the metadata is gone.
Okay,
You know,
that's
so this
good.
is like that's how you can get rid. I mean, again, I'm not pro AI, especially not in Photoshop, but yeah, that's how you can get rid of this mark of using the AI. And that's the same with NFTs, right? It's like,
yeah, NFTs. God, I hope they don't come back. But all right, now I want to talk about your current artistic photography, the stuff that I love. Now, your Instagram is absolutely amazing. And I met you, even before I saw your Instagram, I met you with a mutual friend of ours, Tom, and not Tom from the show, a different Tom. So I met you at a DJ bar, an underground DJ bar in Utenji, whose name we're not going to say because I don't want to blow that place up with tourists.
yeah.
Let's keep that place cool. But so I met you there, and yeah, we had drinks. We talked about cycling. We talked about music. We realized we have a lot of mutual friends in like the music scene and stuff. And yeah, so we became friends. And then you're like, "Oh, I'm a photographer," and I'm like, "Oh, you're a photographer." So tell me about your book. Tell me about your book that you're working on. And you're like, yeah, oh, here's my Instagram, da da da. And then I was like, all right, cool, here's mine. And I didn't think about it until later. And then later and stuff, I was like, oh, hey Max, hey, good time. You know, I sent you a message, and I was like, oh, let me check on his Instagram. So I looked through it, and I was like, holy smokes. I met Picasso with a camera. And I was like going through all your images. I'm like, I think I like all of them. Where's the select all like button on Instagram? This is incredible. Dude, your photographs. And at the beginning of this podcast, I was like, listen, when I look at somebody's photography, and I look at a lot of photography, first thing I do is I ask myself, can I copy this? Is this something that I could do with like an iPhone? Question, no, can't do it with Max's work. All right, is the lighting good? Is the concept good? Is like everything else good? Is this something that I could even kind of like even try to make? No, 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 no. So the stuff that you're doing is extremely, I mean, now that I know your history, and I didn't know your history before, it all kind of makes sense that you have all this really deep, deep, deep experience using the camera and using lighting and using models and being in action sequences and shooting out of a van with the open doors and stuff, right? All this experience and all this hard work that you've been through in multiple different countries has brought you to Tokyo and has given you the God golden finger for you to push that button and make these beautiful, amazing, awesome photographs that, and a couple that I've actually used as inspiration for some of my paintings.
Thank you.
And there's actually a couple of more that I kind of want to use for inspiration because they're just super awesome. But your photographs are just so amazing. I love them. I love them all.
Thank you so much,
I absolutely love them all. I love the concept. I love the style. I love the fashion aspect of it and stuff. So, all right. Without further ado, can you please introduce your passion project? Your passion project, is that correct? Your life project? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't even know what it is. It is a project in a way, right? But
that's what a true artist says, by the way. I don't know what it is. They just do it.
Yeah, it just comes out of me.
Yes, good. I love that answer. Perfect. All right, show's over.
Okay.
Let's go to the bar.
Yeah, no.
Is it time? Can we go it's still too early to go
there. No. Yeah, so as I told you, I like people and I like people showing themselves in a way. I like the second and third layer of a character, the role people play, but also the role they think they play, but showing actually something of their real character without recognizing it, like by playing that role. And then during the process of a photo shooting, getting so loose is the wrong word, but getting like really into it that in the end they go really wild. And,
Yeah.
and in a good way, like in a way that like wild, and then they fully play their character on its craziest, on its highest, or they show the real true person. And then I'm blessed that I can take out this moment and frame it and keep it forever in a way. And I love printing. Too rarely I print stuff, but portraits printed, big size, it's the best what can happen to those, because as an example, I have like a waitress. There was just a waitress in a restaurant. I was, by coincidence, I had my camera with me, which usually is not happening. And she looked so cool, and she came to our table, and when she came the second time bringing drinks, I said, hey, can I please take a portrait of you? Because there was in Yoracho, there was like, before it got renovated, there was this corridor full of shady cockroach bars under the Yamanote line.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Oh, that's all gone?
It's all renovated now. It's all like gentrificated, and the price is triple the amount. And the cockroaches are still there, but it looks now.
Reach south of Ginza, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay,
And
yeah,
it looks very neutral now compared to back in times, which is sad, because back in times, like, the cockroaches were like it's a cool gimmick. Now it's like, what? Why there's a cockroach in this Starbucks-ish environment, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, I never saw a cockroach there, but you know what I mean. Like, the water is dripping down from the ceiling, and every time a train goes through, you need to shout because you cannot hear each other. Usually, I would hate places like this, but this one's amazing. So
old
night
Tokyo,
environment, yes. And there were also those lanterns, like lines of lanterns hanging on a different level, all the way to the horizon in this tunnelish thing, where on the left and on the right, all the bars were, right? Izakaya, Japanese bars. And then she said, okay, you have a few seconds, kind of. She said, okay, let's take quickly a picture, because I'm busy, I'm working right now, right? Like, Japanese stuff is always like really polite, but also very hectic. So she was just standing there, quite shy. I stood up, took the picture, and like 2 or 3 shots, and it was like this corridor behind her, the lanterns like disappearing behind her head, like all the how can I say, attention leading lines guided to her face, like over her shoulders to her face, and her face is in the, what's it called, the golden cut thing, you know, like a little bit, not from the center, a little bit, like, I would say like 35% away from the center to the right. So it's not perfectly in the middle. So it's like also a little, how can I say, a little distortion in the picture. It's not like perfectly balanced. As the lines in the back are, but the person not, right? So that's important. And of course, the focus is on her. The background is quite blurry, not too blurry. You can still recognize what it is. It was a 50mm lens, my favorite, by the way. And yeah, it's a nice portrait. After I printed it, and that's, sorry, a very long story short.
No, it's
After
great.
I printed it, I realized, wow, this is one of my most favorite pictures ever. It's like, it feels 3D. This woman feels like she has tattoos on her arm, which back in time, that was also 2015, was quite rare in Japan. Like, it's like, nowadays it's more common that young people get tattoos, but back in time, very rare. And she was actually, in that moment, she was so shy. And after this picture, she's laughed and smiled and, can I leave now? Thank you. But on this picture, she looks like it's like a dystopic world. Zombie apocalypse in Japan. She's one of the only survivors, and she just kills a human fighting about food with her bare hands. She killed him, like, she put her thumbs into his eyes and pushed him through the skull.
There we go. That's the Max I love.
She just killed someone, and then she's like looking to the camera, are you next? Or you just piss off and I continue my stuff, right?
Nice.
And that's how she looks on this picture.
Cool.
And knowing this background and then seeing this picture, it's so different. So this moment dropped her into a role. Yeah, it sounds insane, but if you see that picture, you will realize at least this 3D effect and this like decent portrait of a person is like quite outstanding. And this is something I would never post on Instagram, because I think Instagram, like everybody watching on the phone, the monitor is too small, so already you cannot appreciate it so much. Then people swipe through it very fast. There's another trouble, right? It's yes, that's what I said before. Content. It's not really art anymore. It's just content, just something.
Yeah.
And this picture in small, it's not doing anything. Again, that's why I print. It's like just a, what is it, like 60mm print or something.
Do you have that print?
At home, yeah.
Wow, my God. Are you exhibiting anywhere?
The last time is a very long time ago here in Japan, but my plan is at the next art tank. I don't know. There's a nice guy who's organizing that.
No, I was like, I can probably hook you up.
Maybe.
I got a friend that knows a guy. I got a friend that knows a guy. Yeah. Oh, God. Right now, I've only got one photographer. I like to have 2 or 3 photographers for every exhibition. So let's talk after the show. Yeah, there's like, dude, I'll be honest about Tokyo Arting. There's like 80 people that want to be in the next show. And I'm like, dude, I've only got like 27 walls. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, and it should be not to be honest, it should be not too much. Like, I think the last one was quite good balance, and I haven't seen the ones before. But I felt, one or two more artists, and it's too much.
No. See, that's a really good point. See, when it comes to Tokyo Art Tank and Faders, as you guys have been paying attention to the show for the last 20 episodes, you know what I'm doing and talking about my art exhibitions. But the thing is, like, I go to a lot of art exhibitions and a lot of group shows, and the best group shows are ones that are not too small, where it's kind of weird, where nobody wants to talk to you or anything, and it's not too big, where nobody has the time to talk to you or they're too exhausted to talk to you. And the thing is, I found that the perfect balance of people to be exhibiting at a group show is under 30. I think 30 is about the limit, but I think 25 right there. I think 25 is like the golden number, especially if you have 5 rooms and 5 people per room. That right there is perfect because you go in and the artists are they're hanging out with each other. You know, we've got a bar, then we got a cafe bar, so people are drinking and stuff. And so they have they're excited to talk to people, and there's not too many people there where they can't talk to you and stuff. So you can talk to anybody, you can talk to any artist, and all the artists. One thing is, I make sure that every single artist is a friendly person. They have a good personality. So that's the number one thing. Second thing is quality control. So I make sure that the quality is absolutely great, the best quality I can. So anybody that comes in can meet a great artist, a photographer, a sculptor, a jewelry designer, a painter, and then they can have a great conversation with them, because I want Tokyo Art Tank to be an all-inclusive art exhibition experience for anybody and everybody from around the world to enjoy.
So, yeah, cool.
Yeah. So let's talk. I think I got a pretty good space for you too, by the way. So, but yeah, your artwork is absolutely amazing. I would love to see the stuff that you're not posting on Instagram. And I want to talk about Instagram from artist to artist. What do you think is like the next Instagram? Is there like going to be, or is there like an app that's only for photographers? Because I know there's one that just opened up that's only for artists, like painters and illustrators.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I think it's already kind of saturated. It's called Cara, Cara.
Okay, I never heard about it.
Yeah, I think it's like maybe 3 or 4 weeks old. I just started seeing stuff on YouTube about it, but I don't know. It's okay. It's all right, but I don't know. Is there any other place other than Instagram for photographers?
I sadly have no idea about this. As I'm out of this real advertisement world.
Yeah.
And my art part I usually do for the models and me. I mean, let's say it like this, like until like a few months ago, I just had around 1,000 followers, which was totally fine because like 990 of them I knew in person. And I was actually quite happy about this, that it's all real people and not any bots or any followers, which I appreciate, of course, but I don't know. So there's less meaning. If they unfollow me again, I don't give anything, right?
Yeah.
So, and now it changed because like some popular models posted some of my shots, and then it's the sad point that, not a sad point, it's okay, but when they have like, I think like 125,000 followers, they post one picture of you and you get like at least 30 to 100 new followers.
Yeah.
And you have no connection to them. So like, and why I'm telling this is like, I'm already kind of not connected to social media in that way, in that sense. And especially to another platform, I'm not researching, I'm not checking. I have no idea if there's anything better or worse, or like I hear Twitter recently is allowing nudity. Is that true?
I
Or
don't.
X is showing X.
Shouldn't it be XXX instead of just one X?
There's no triple X.
Triple X, yeah.
Which is actually a good voice actor, the Vin Diesel guy. I heard he's like in some game. He's like doing the voice acting. What was it? I forgot. But anyway, sorry.
Probably Grand Theft Auto.
No. Like more serious. But anyway, yeah, no idea about social media. Actually, it's not my cup of tea.
So, well, I mean, all right, I'll be honest though. The social media that you do is quite impressive. Can you plug that right now? What is your Instagram?
Makkusu.photo. It's
spell that out.
MAKKUSU.photo. PAOTO.
What's Makkuso? Is that like kind of like your nickname?
That was actually
Makkuso?
I just when I made this homepage like 7 years ago, I just thought like, okay, how Japanese usually misspell my name instead of Max or Max, they say Makkusu. Yeah. So then you write katakana Makkusu.
Makkusu.
Yeah, and then you bring it back to Romanji, then it's Makkusu. That's all. That's the joke.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Now I got a couple of just like random questions. I think most of the questions that I had, we actually answered just by having a conversation. We Joe Roganed it this time. But yeah, do you use assistants when you do these epic photo shoots?
I from my artwork or my Instagram stuff I show on Instagram, the Makusu stuff,
Hmm.
very rarely, just 2 or 3 times in the last few years. Maybe let's say 10 times I had assistance
Hmm.
in 7 years.
Hmm.
But this is not
Okay.
my work, right? Not the commercial photography. It's may well come
Oh
along.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
example, yesterday on a shoot, I twisted my arm that badly that I still cannot lift it more than 90 degrees to the top. And
Oof.
with an assistant, that would never had happened.
Hmm.
So I need assistance, but that it's usually never in the budget for art projects that
Yeah.
because there is simply no budget. Like there's like
Hmm.
very low payment or no payment.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's no assistance.
How do you find locations? Like your locations are
So
very,
difficult.
yeah.
There's like, do you know what's it called? Art? No, not
There's a website,
space,
right?
space something. Ah, I forgot the name. What is the name? Space?
Airbnb?
No, no, no. It's like Airbnb, but for events usually. So people can book places for like parties, cooking parties, house parties. It's very common. Space market.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, yes, yes,
I
yes.
friend that was talking about that one.
Uh,
Okay.
so space market, but usually I'm not searching the locations. Usually it's the requesting part, the requesting site, the model site. So what I just bring in is the equipment and the idea of what to shoot.
Yeah.
Because actually it's funny because like if it's like this Instagram requests, usually the models are very open-minded in terms of, hey, I want to take pictures with you,
Hmm.
but whatever you want, I have no idea. I have this costumes, this outfits, but I have no greater vision
Hmm.
most of the time.
Yeah.
Like so, like tomorrow I have a shooting which is like very precise. She knows what she like a real client. She has
Hmm.
like, I want this and this and this, and I have a mood board and blah blah blah. Okay, 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 cool.
Hmm. Hmm.
Let's keep it still arty and experiment a bit, but it's okay. We can fulfill your wish.
Yeah.
But usually, if it comes to those things I show on Instagram, they are mostly out of or actually almost 100% out of my idea.
Hmm.
Just like the surrounding is sponsored by the model and the people themselves, right? So
Wow, super cool, man. That's awesome. Wow. So, and models, like, I mean, I'm sure at this point, models actually seek you out. So they contact you from like your Instagram, your
mostly, most
websites.
sometimes I
Yeah.
also ask people when I'm like super impressed by their works, and I
Uh-huh.
feel like it's not the artwork of the photographer, it's
Hmm.
also like a thing the model brings in,
Hmm.
which also sometimes you really can tell by the pictures, right? So
Hmm. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, all right. I know you got to go soon. So last question, last question. Okay, so as I said before, I meet a lot of photographers. What would you recommend for somebody that's coming to Japan and they want to do photography here, or they want to maybe do a photography project here? What do you
hmm.
recommend? Like, don't do it?
No, 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 no. It's
Or I don't know.
it depends from where you are because I
Yeah.
think like for I have Hong Kongese friends, for them there's nothing special in Tokyo. Like I mean there's a little difference in the culture and like visual wise there's some differences,
Hmm.
but they are not that impressed. But
Hmm.
for Europeans, Americans, I guess it's like it's so different in everything, right?
Hmm.
That it's definitely worth to have a project, to start
Hmm.
a project.
Hmm.
I would say it's good to have a little planning and a lot of, I mean, for my, how can I say, from my standards, I plan a lot. I have a lot of ideas ahead, but you need to be aware of the technique. You need to know how to do it. So
Hmm.
if you have all those points, if you know how to do it and you have the equipment, you have the people, you know the location, blah, 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 then, and now it's the twist, then just let it go. Just be in the moment.
Hmm.
So you,
Be in the
like
moment. Cool.
how can I say like again this woman in the corridor, like this waitress in the corridor,
Hmm.
it was a complete coincidence. It's still one of my most
Nice.
favorite pictures.
I love that.
And it's not out of a project idea. It can be connected to a project idea, right?
Hmm.
The way how you design
Hmm.
the whole picture,
Hmm.
but itself, like yeah, if you come with an idea to Japan, it's very good if you pre-prepare, but don't overthink it because it's way more difficult in Japan to realize things, especially legally and officially. Brings me back to this government critic.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah, no, and the government is fine.
We're
But
live.
we're live, but yeah, but it's like it's not easy. That's why, for example, what was the last series which was completely shot in Canada, but everybody was Japanese actors and stuff like this.
In
Shogun.
Japan?
Shogun, the whole series Shogun, which recently got aired like this year,
Oh, the
2024.
samurai one?
Yeah, the
Oh,
Shogun series.
I didn't watch
It was
that.
a
I
really
don't
good
know.
series.
Was it
It's
really?
like a good series.
Was it accurate? Because
Yeah.
I used to study samurai stuff. I was
No.
so into Japanese history for the longest time, so I'm very picky.
What I know so far is that like traditions and wardrobe and stuff like this was very accurate. So
Yeah.
they made it very good.
Cool.
But the story itself is a little bit off the reality.
Why was
I
it
would
really
say.
woke?
It was not. No, it was not about wokeness, but it was the point was
Netflix.
most of the actors were like Japanese actors and like half Japanese, half American, whatever. But everything was shot in Canada. Why? Because like it's easier to build up a fake Japan somewhere in the nature of Canada than to shoot on actual Japanese locations because there's tons of restrictions.
Oh.
Tons of I would say mafia structures with corruptions.
I don't want to get into that.
Pull
I don't
out-
want to get into that.
Pull
Yo,
out the money.
yeah, get out of here, whatever. Let's not talk about that. All right.
Yeah,
So
yo.
basically, somebody's going to come to Japan. They're going to come to Japan and they want to be a photographer and do photography here. They want to work on a project. They got to plan for it. And they got to be completely prepared, but go with the moment.
Go with the moment,
Go with the moment.
especially you plan stuff which is maybe blocked or how can I say? For example, drones. I can understand that you cannot fly drones in Tokyo.
Could
Makes
you
really
imagine
sense.
if you could? There'd be drones everywhere. Oh my God.
No, that would be crazy. But I have a friend. He got a license from the Hilton Hotel to fly the drone around the Nishi Tokyo around
Oh,
the
in
Hilton
Nishi
Hotel.
Tokyo? In Shinjuku?
Nishi
Get out of-
Shinjuku, sorry, Nishi Shinjuku.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, but Hilton Hotel, Hilton, the company Hilton paid so much money to make it possible that he flies around for 1 minute to make a shot of the
1
hotel.
minute.
Well,
Well, it's cheaper than a helicopter, right?
on some point, not anymore, right? I mean, in this case, yes, but it's like ridiculous expensive. So that's what I mean. Yeah. If inside cities in Japan, you don't have that much freedom. So be prepared to work on small space.
Yes.
Many challenges. And be fast.
Be fast. Do it. Be fast. All right. Awesome, man. And all right. One personal question. Just for me. When you do a shoot, do you have one camera but many lenses, or do you have multiple cameras with many lenses? Because I got a couple of friends that do photography, and they show up at like my concerts that I have, and they'll have like 3 cameras with like this carry-on bag with like all these lenses in there. I'm like, why don't you just have one camera?
I mean, depends. I think if you have a corporate event or something like
Yeah.
a live event, then 2 cameras is enough. I think 2 cameras helps if you have like the what's it called, like a not zoom lens, like a lens which is like just 100 millimeter long lens,
Yeah.
and a wide lens, and that you don't need to change if you think you're not fast enough to change, but there's like a spokesman, and then has a group shot directly, and you have 1 minute time for the spokesman and then the group shot, and there's no time to even change the lens.
Now I got it. That makes sense.
But
that makes sense. Okay, cool.
Besides those types of events, it's just to show off. And
Just
it's
to show off.
laziness. And it's like, oh, I can carry so much gear.
Yeah,
But actually,
yeah.
I always change my lens.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. All right. That makes sense. Yeah. Because sometimes you see them, they walk in like they're Rambo. They're holding this big camera like this.
Yeah.
And then they got one in the back with all this film like this. Like,
Yeah.
That's an exaggeration, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's true. People do that.
Yeah. Max, all right, you got to get out of here, dude. Thank you so much for being on Got Fitted Japan. It was so awesome to hang out with you. You're a true master of the camera, a genius here in Japan. Faders, I highly recommend for you to go to his Instagram and to his website, check out his work. When you come to Japan, or if you're in Japan, maybe you can hire him to like take your portrait or something like that. Contact him. How can they get in contact with you? And one more time, can you give your plugs?
makkusu.photo, makusu.photo on Instagram or my homepage. You can write me an email, you can send me a direct message, all that stuff. Yeah, you can push a button here or there, ring the bell,
Show notes.
follow this podcast.
Show
It's good. It's
notes.
very good. Like, go to the exhibitions. They're also very interesting, very
Tokyo Art
nice.
Tank, yeah.
Live events next Sunday if you're in Tokyo.
Oh yeah. I've got my private personal art exhibition, my blacklight art exhibition. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have this up by then. Actually, this is live. Yes, if you're listening to or watching this live, yes, I've got a private solo blacklight art exhibition happening at Gamuso in Asagaya from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. I'm gonna be showing 20 to 25 of my blacklight paintings. If you buy a painting, you get a free blacklight. I've got blacklight toys, blacklight figures. I got all sorts of crazy stuff. We got a Mexican chef from Mexico that's gonna be making homemade tacos. We've got a full bar. Yeah, the drinks are ice cold and very affordable, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic. We've got 12 DJs, which is going to be kind of cool too. So there's just so much going on. Oh yeah, we also have body painting and live painting. You can make your own paintings and stuff. It's crazy. We got so much going on. Anyway, so if you're in Tokyo, definitely do that. And regarding Got Faded Japan, thank you, faders, for fading with us today. Thank you for all you guys have been watching us live on YouTube. Yes, we are on YouTube. And what's that? Is that your shirt?
Photo. Yes.
Oh shoot! So you're wearing your shirt. I'm wearing my shirt. Oh dude,
That's shirt.
Support
people.
these shirts.
Support the shirts.
Support the shirts. Support Anthony's hat right here. Oh man,
And fight.
fight the power. What?
Come on. It's
We're gonna get in so much trouble. I'm gonna get so many emails. But yeah, faders, thank you so much. And yeah, support the show by going down to the Patreon. Yeah, give us your money. Keep the lights on. And we're all over SNS, all over the world and stuff. So definitely go find us. And we'll catch you guys next time. Thank you, faders.